Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing great, and welcome to our presentation today on Amtrak Vacations with one of our most popular topics ever. We're going to be talking about life on board with Amtrak Vacations. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nick Bonnell, and I am one of our business development executives with Amtrak Vacations. A little bit about myself. I absolutely love rail travel. I've done quite a bit extensively all throughout the world, actually. I've done tons of rail here in the United States, Canada, and all throughout Europe. Something I'm very passionate about, and I'm very excited to be with you all today to go over such great information. Stay tuned towards the end of the presentation, as we'll have a special prize for one lucky attendee, as well as we're going to go over a bunch of really great information of everything, what it's like to actually be on an Amtrak train with Amtrak Vacations. Please feel free to download the handouts where that top arrow is pointing. There's going to be 3 handouts on there. One is going to be all about the sleeping accommodations and the different layouts on board the train. One is going to be in regards to the National Park vacation packages with Amtrak Vacations, as well as one about our endless summer sale, which I'm going to go over in just a second. Very excited to go over all of that with you. Got some great savings for you all. In the meantime, throughout the presentation, if you do have any questions at all, don't hesitate to put those questions into the questions box where that bottom arrow is pointing, and I will be more than happy to answer any and all questions that you may have for me towards the end of the presentation today. Now, I mentioned an endless summer sale. What is that? Well, we rolled it out today, and it's really fantastic, folks. I can tell you, since we opened up just about an hour ago, the phones have been ringing off the hook for this endless summer sale. Pretty exciting times. Essentially, if you want to book any of our vacation packages, if you upgrade to the roomette accommodations on board the train, you automatically get $200 off per couple, or if you upgrade to the bedroom accommodations on board Amtrak, you automatically get $300 off per couple. Now, keep that in mind that this saving will not be around for forever. In fact, it's only good till August the 16th, but you don't want to wait until then. You want to book as soon as possible to guarantee yourself the lowest price and the availability. So keep that in mind. You can take a great vacation package by train, and you could save yourself some money right off the top. It's a win-win for you. How exciting is that? Now, let's hop right into it and find out what makes Amtrak Vacations different. Well, there's several reasons for that. First and foremost, traveling by rail is a bucket list experience. In fact, we surveyed all of our travelers last year as to why they chose traveling with Amtrak and Amtrak Vacations, and the number one consensus answer we kept finding was that it was a bucket list trip. If you think about it in your travels that you've done, you may have done an ocean cruise or two, maybe you've done an escorted tour through Europe or to Asia or South America, maybe you've gone to Walt Disney World, maybe you've done an all-inclusive to Mexico or the Caribbean or to Hawaii, and maybe, just maybe, you've conquered river cruising. Well, and maybe you're looking for something different, fun, and unique. Look no further than Amtrak Vacations. Traveling by rail is quite different than the rest of it, and it's something that you will definitely enjoy. There's freedom and flexibility. One of the best parts about our vacation packages is they operate almost on a daily basis. With just the exception of a few of our seasonal national park packages, almost every single trip we offer operates daily. So you can truly travel when you want to travel. It's not like the cruises where they select sailing dates or the escorted tours where they select start dates. It says hassle-free. There's none of this business about checking in 24 hours ahead of time or showing up 2 to 3 hours before your departure like you would with a flight. No. 45 minutes to an hour is all you need when it comes to Amtrak. So it's really as hassle-free and as worry-free as possible. Official tour operator. One of the best parts about Amtrak Vacations is we are the official tour operator for Amtrak. We work hand in hand with Amtrak, and we are the only ones that can use the Amtrak name and likeness. And we work hand in hand with Amtrak to bring these amazing vacation packages to life for all of you, as we are the one, the only, the official tour operator for Amtrak. City to city service. Now, I absolutely love this because one thing I dislike are long airport transfers. And sometimes you fly into a place and it takes you up to an hour to get you to where you need to be. Well, with Amtrak, there's no need for it, as we typically go from downtown to downtown, city center to city center, putting you right where you want to be right off the bat so you can start your vacationing and your sightseeing off on the right foot. And lastly, something for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. It doesn't matter if you're traveling solo or with your significant other or spouse, or if you're traveling with your whole family. There is something for every single person on an Amtrak Vacations package. It's really exciting. And come on, at the end of the day, who doesn't love rail travel? Now, I love showing this map because it really amazes me at how extensive Amtrak's system really is. In fact, Amtrak services 46 out of the 48 continental states here in the US, with the exceptions of Wyoming and South Dakota. And last year, Amtrak set their ridership record with over 32.5 million passengers. To put that into perspective, if Amtrak was an airline, Amtrak would have been the sixth most flown airline in the world. Pretty impressive, right? Definitely goes to show you that rail travel is in demand, and there's no time but now for you to experience Amtrak firsthand. And the best part is all of these vacation packages can be customized to start from your local Amtrak station. There's over 500 Amtrak stations throughout the United States and Canada, and you can start any and all of these packages right from your local station. Definitely, it's really exciting that you are able to customize these vacation packages to your liking. And keep that in mind throughout this presentation. Customization is key when it comes to Amtrak Vacations. Take what you know about those escorted tours where you have that set itinerary and you can't really deviate from it. You have that strict schedule. You can't modify it as you have to follow that schedule. With Amtrak Vacations, it's the exact opposite, as you can completely customize our itineraries to the way you deem fit. Perhaps you want to add or remove nights to a package. Maybe you want to add a destination or remove a destination. Maybe you want to do a trip in reverse or do just a portion of a package. Maybe you want to combine itineraries into one vacation package, or maybe you have a dream trip in mind that we might not necessarily offer. Well, keep it in mind, folks, that it is all possible when it comes to Amtrak Vacations, as all of our trips have the ability to be customized and tailor-made to your liking. So you can take that dream rail trip that you've always wanted to take. So let's hop right into it and start talking about what life is like on board an Amtrak train. That's why we're all here today, right, folks? So the first thing we're going to talk about is packing for the train, as Amtrak has by far the most generous luggage policy in all of the travel industry. Take what you know about the airlines, where you can usually bring one carry-on bag and then you have to pay for most check-in luggage. With Amtrak, it's the exact opposite. Amtrak, you're allowed 2 pieces of carry-on luggage up to 50 pounds each bag, 2 pieces of check-in luggage up to 50 pounds each bag, as well as a personal item. Figure along the lines of a backpack, briefcase, pocketbook, purse, or even a small duffel bag. And this is all per person, which is really exciting. And the best part is this can all be checked in up to 45 minutes prior to your departure time. So it's not like the airlines where you have to be there hours and hours in advance. 45 minutes is all you need. It's as hassle-free and as worry-free as possible. It's very exciting. You're allowed quite a bit of luggage when you travel by Amtrak. Now, you're going to hear throughout the presentation me talk about the different types of accommodations, whether it be coach seating or roomettes or bedrooms and all the different levels of sleeping accommodations on board the train. But what exactly does this all mean? So let's hop right into that. And the first thing I want to go over is coach accommodations, which, as you can see, is a pretty standard seat on board the train. Now, take what you know about airplane seating and picture kind of the exact opposite, because the seating on Amtrak is absolutely comfortable. The seats themselves are typically double the size of your standard airplane seat. They recline at a 45-degree angle, and they also have a leg rest, as you can see right on your screen. And the legroom is uncomparable. In fact, last year I traveled with one of my colleagues who is 6'6". He could fully stretch his legs out and still have room to spare. Good luck finding that on the airlines, because if you do, you're typically paying quite a premium on that. This is all standard on board Amtrak. Now, coach seating is wonderful. However, meals are not included, and neither is shower access. If we're doing a night or more on board the train, we're probably going to want to eat. We're probably going to want to take a shower. So where do we go from there? That's right, we can upgrade to the roomettes. Now, the roomettes are by far the most popular type of sleeping accommodation on board the train. During the day, it's 2 big seats that face each other with a big picture window in between and a fold-out table in between. At night, the 2 seats convert to the lower bed, and right above where this lady's head is, the top bed will pull down. Now, with the roomettes, meals are absolutely included. You also get complimentary coffee, tea, juice, and bottles of water. You get turn-down service. You get your linens, sheets, towels, and pillows all included, as well as you have access to the bathrooms and showers. Now, keep it in mind, with the roomettes, the bathrooms and showers are private but shared. So what exactly does that mean? It means, yes, you will be sharing the bathrooms and showers with all of the rest of the people that have roomette accommodations in the same car, but they're private. Once you're in there, you're in there. There's a lock on the door. It's not like a college dormitory where people are coming in and out. And the neat thing is it's a full-size bathroom with a full-size shower. And I can tell you folks, taking a shower on board the train is quite the experience in itself. In fact, there is nothing better than taking a shower at 80 miles per hour. Now you might say, Nick, this sounds marvelous, but is there a way I can get my own bathroom in room? And the correct answer is yes, we can upgrade you to the bedrooms. The bedrooms are a little bit bigger than the roomettes, and it's a bit of a different layout. So during the day, it's more of a sofa style seating, like where that lady is sitting, with an extra captain's chair as well, like where that gentleman is sitting. At night, that sofa style seating converts to the lower bed, and much like the roomettes, the top bed will pull down right above her head. Now, you get the exact same amenities you would get with the bedrooms that you would get with the roomettes. However, the main differential is the room is a little bit bigger. It's more of a sofa style seating, and you get a private toilet, sink, and shower in room for your use and your use alone when you have the bedroom accommodations. So keep that in mind. If you want your own bathrooms, this is your opportunity to do so by getting the bedroom accommodations. Now, one of the best parts about traveling by rail is you have the freedom to get out of your seat and move around. It's not like being on a motor coach or in an airplane where you can't really get up and move around and freely move amongst the transportation. With Amtrak, you're encouraged to do so. Get up, visit the cafe car, visit the dining car, or visit my personal favorite, the observation car. I absolutely love the observation car. In fact, every single time I've ever been on Amtrak, other than to eat, sleep, or shower, I do not leave the observation car because it is really the premier spot on board the train to seeing all of those different landscapes that can only be seen from Amtrak. It has floor-to-ceiling windows with a glass dome top right above, and the seats actually face outwards towards the windows, so you can get some of the best views of the United States and the different landscapes that the United States has to offer from the observation car. It is really the best spot on board Amtrak. Now, directly below the observation car, we have the lounge car, otherwise known as the cafe car. This offers some more ample amounts of seating, booth seating, and the best part about the observation car and the cafe car or the lounge car is this is where they have a snack and food counter where if you want to get sandwiches, bags of chips, candy, hamburgers, hot dogs, slices of pizza, or maybe you want a soft drink or a glass of wine, a cocktail, or a beer, this is where you can purchase it. It is all available for purchase throughout your train journey. I can tell you one of my favorite things to do while on Amtrak is I like to go down into the cafe car or the lounge car. I like to get myself a glass of wine, red wine. I like to bring that glass of wine back up to the observation car, and I like to kick back, relax, listen to music, and sip my wine as I'm watching the United States pass before my eyes. It is by far one of my favorite travel experiences I can ever do. I highly recommend it for you all. You'll absolutely love it. Now, I mentioned seeing the country from the window of a train. Amtrak offers truly the best way to see the United States. You're seeing all the sights you cannot see from an airplane or from the interstates while you're driving. If you think about it, when you're up in the sky in an airplane, clouds are going to look the same no matter where you go to in the world. That's a fact. But when you're on Amtrak, you're seeing all of those unique landscapes that the United States has to offer. And we're really lucky here in the US as we have all those different types of landscapes available. Think about it, folks. We have big cities. We have mountain ranges. We have beaches and coastlines. We have swamplands and desert lands, prairies and plains, rainforests and evergreen forests. We have small town America, and every single last bit of it can be seen from sitting on Amtrak. It truly is the best way to see the United States. Now, keep in mind, folks, Amtrak has an amazing dining car and food on board the train. Take what you know about airplane food and those little tinfoil meals and picture the exact opposite because the food on the train is absolutely delicious. And you'd be amazed at the quality of meals that are served on board the train. I'm talking about for breakfast, for example, there's pancakes or waffles, bacon and eggs, omelets. In fact, the last time I traveled with Amtrak a couple months ago, I actually had breakfast quesadillas, which were absolutely delicious. For lunch, there's juicy cheeseburgers, grilled chicken salads, and pasta dishes. And for dinner, there's fish, there's chicken, and of course there's Amtrak's main dish, which can be seen on the top right, the Amtrak signature steak, which I can tell you firsthand, I've had that countless amounts of times. I absolutely love it. I know you all will too, and it is absolutely delicious. And the whole process with dining on board the train is really lovely. As soon as you board the train, the dining car attendant will come by, set up reservation times that you want to eat your meals. When it's time to eat, you head down to the dining car, take a seat in one of these big, comfortable booths with a white linen tablecloth layout, and you get to order off a menu and from a server like you would at a restaurant. So really, if you think about it, Amtrak isn't just transportation, but it's a restaurant, a hotel, and sightseeing all rolled up into one amazing experience on board the rails. How exciting is all that, folks? So with all of that said, all aboard, and let's hop into some of our top itineraries where you can truly experience what life on Amtrak is all about. And the first one we're going to go over is one of our most popular rail experience packages. Now, we introduced these rail experience packages about 4 years ago, and they are some of our most popular itineraries. The rail experience put the focus on the journey rather than destination. So we tend to keep the hotel and destination stays at a minimum, where the true focus is being on the train as much as possible. And the Northern Rail experience is by far one of our most popular, as it utilizes the 3 most scenic routes that Amtrak has to offer. This trip starts off out of Chicago as we hop on board the Empire Builder, which is the most northern route on board Amtrak. That train passes through Wisconsin, Minnesota, North Dakota, Montana, Idaho, and into Washington State. You're going to do 2 nights on the train from Chicago to Seattle, where we arrive 2 days later in the morning. When we get into Seattle, Washington, we will do 1 night in a downtown Seattle hotel. And while we're in Seattle, we get a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour, which will take you around Seattle on a big loop, and you can get off and on as you please at all the different sites and attractions that Seattle has to offer. After our fun in Seattle is all said and done, the next morning you will hop aboard Amtrak's most scenic route. In fact, it's been voted the most scenic route in North America the past 3 years. That's right, we're hopping on the Coast Starlight, leaving Seattle in the morning and arriving and doing an overnight train, arriving to San Francisco, California the following morning. When we get into San Francisco, we'll do 2 nights in a downtown San Francisco hotel, typically in the Fisherman's Wharf area of the city. And while we're in San Francisco, we get a couple different inclusions. First and foremost, you will all get a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour on board the train or in San Francisco, as well as you will get a guided tour of Muir Woods and Sausalito. And that's all capped off by a San Francisco Bay cruise. Once our fun in San Francisco is all said and done, we will then hop aboard the Amtrak California Zephyr train and do a 2-night train from San Francisco back to Chicago. Now, the California Zephyr train, you'll pass through California, you'll pass through Nevada, Utah, Colorado, Nebraska, Iowa, leading you back into Chicago. So this trip right here, everybody, is 9 days, 8 nights. We get the hop-on, hop-off tours in both Seattle and San Francisco. While we're in San Francisco, we get the sightseeing tour of Muir Woods and Sausalito, along with the San Francisco Bay cruise. This package is overall 3 nights hotel, 5 nights on board the train, and yes, those 5 nights on the train are in coach accommodations, which we can absolutely upgrade you to the sleepers, where you will get a private room with beds, shower access, and meals on the train included. Now, maybe you like the idea of this trip, but maybe you want it just to be a little bit longer, or maybe you want to see more of the United States. Well, keep in mind, folks, we got a wonderful trip called our Grand Rail Experience. Now, this trip is amazing as you get to see almost every single corner of the continent of the United States by rail within 2 weeks. It's very, very exciting. So this trip starts off in Chicago, where we will do the 2-night journey on board the Empire Builder once again, where we will arrive into Seattle 2 days later. In Seattle, we'll do 2 nights in a downtown Seattle hotel, where we'll get that hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour once again. After our 2 nights in Seattle are all said and done, we will then hop aboard the Amtrak Coast Starlight, that most scenic train, and we're going to do that journey in its full entirety as we do the overnight train from Seattle all the way down to Los Angeles, where we arrive the following evening. When we arrive into Los Angeles, we're going to do 1 night in a downtown Los Angeles hotel. And while we're in Los Angeles, you will get a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour, which will take you around LA to some of the most famous attractions, most areas of town, and landmarks that Los Angeles has to offer. This will take you down through downtown Los Angeles. It will take you up into Hollywood, where you can see the Grauman's Chinese Theater, the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It'll take you over to the famous Farmers Market, up into Beverly Hills, the Hollywood Hills. It's quite a really excellent way to see the City of Stars. After our day of sightseeing in Los Angeles, we're going to hop aboard an evening train and do 2 nights on board Amtrak's most southern route called the Sunset Limited. We're going to take the 2-night train from Los Angeles to New Orleans. And when we arrive in New Orleans, we're going to do 2 nights in an essentially located hotel in New Orleans, typically in the French Quarter or on Canal Street. And while we're in New Orleans, we get a guided city tour of New Orleans, which will take you by some of the famous landmarks and areas of New Orleans. We get to see some of those top sites. After our fun in New Orleans is all said and done, we are then going to hop aboard Amtrak's Crescent train and do an overnight train from New Orleans to Washington, D.C., where we will arrive the following morning. When we get into Washington, D.C., we'll do 1 night in a downtown Washington hotel, typically in the Capitol Hill or DuPont Circle area of the city. And while we're there, we get one of my favorite sightseeing tours. Now, as I mentioned, I've been all over the world, and I've had the privilege to visit a lot of great countries and great cities, and I've had the opportunity to do some really great sightseeing in everywhere I go. This tour still stands out to me as one of my all-time favorites. This is the Monuments by Moonlight tour, and it is included in this package. It's a nighttime tour that will take you by some of the famous memorials and monuments of Washington, D.C., and you get to see them all illuminated at night. It is honestly one of the most inspirational and awe-inspiring tours that I have ever done. It's how I honestly feel it's the best way to see Washington, D.C., is seeing all the different landmarks lit up at night. After our fun in Washington is all said and done, we will then hop aboard the Amtrak Capital Limited train and do the overnight train from Washington, D.C. back to Chicago. So this trip right here is 2 weeks long, 14 days, 13 nights. We get hop-on, hop-off tours of both Seattle and Los Angeles. We get a guided city tour of New Orleans, as well as that Monuments by Moonlight tour of Washington, D.C. Overall, it's 6 nights hotel, 7 nights on the train, and with this package, you definitely want to upgrade to the sleepers, where you'll get that private room with beds, shower access, and meals on the train included, because you will be on the train for 7 nights altogether. Now let's take a look at one of our most popular packages of all time. This is by far one of our top trips, as it's been one of our top packages for the past 7 years, and it features one of our most popular destinations that we offer, which is Glacier National Park. Glacier Park is our most popular seasonal national park that we offer. Glacier Park season is only from mid-June to mid-September, because yes, it is in northern Montana, so yes, it does snow about 9 months of the year up there. So really, June through September is Glacier Park's time to shine, and this package sells out every single year. This is our Glacier National Park Express. This package starts off in Chicago, where we do 2 nights in a downtown Chicago hotel. And while we're in Chicago, we get the Shoreline Sightseeing Architecture Cruise, which is the boat ride that'll bring you down the river in Chicago. And it highlights a lot of the famous buildings and skyscrapers that Chicago is known for. In fact, Chicago is the birthplace of the modern skyscraper. Really neat tour. I've actually done that tour myself, and I absolutely loved it. Once our fun in Chicago is all said and done, we're going to do an overnight train on board the Empire Builder as we go from Chicago to Glacier National Park, where we will arrive the following evening. When we get into Glacier National Park, we will do 2 nights, or 3 nights, my apologies, in essentially at the Glacier Park Lodge, which is the oldest and most historic of the Great Northern Railway hotels. It's a magnificent property, and it was built in 1912, and it is so amazing. I absolutely love this hotel. Now, when we're in Glacier Park, we get 2 tours included. The first tour is the Two Medicine Valley Boat Cruise, which is a boat ride in Two Medicine Lake, which is situated in the Two Medicine Valley area of the park. It's incredibly scenic. You're going to love it. And the second tour is the Big Sky Circle Tour. Now, the Big Sky Circle Tour is the main tour of Glacier National Park. It's a full-day tour that utilizes the Going to the Sun Road, which is the main stretch of road that runs right through the middle of Glacier National Park. It's an amazing tour, and it is definitely by far the most comprehensive tour that Glacier Park has to offer. After our fun in Glacier Park is all said and done, we're then going to hop aboard the Amtrak Empire Builder, and do another overnight train from Glacier Park to Seattle, Washington, where we will arrive the following morning. And when we get into Seattle, we will do 2 nights in a downtown Seattle hotel. While we're there, we get a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing tour, as well as we will also get admission to the Space Needle, Seattle's most iconic landmark, as well as the Chihuly Gardening Glass Museum. Now, for those that aren't familiar with Chihuly, Dale Chihuly is this really great artist that makes these beautiful glass sculptures that look like flowers. And this is his headquarters museum. It is really beautiful. And the best part is it's situated right at the foot of the Space Needle. So you actually get the opportunity to go from one to the other with ease. So this package right here, everybody, is 10 days, 9 nights. We get the sightseeing architecture cruise of Chicago. In Glacier Park, we get the 2 Medicine Valley boat cruise and the Big Sky Circle tour. And while we're in Seattle, we get admission to the Space Needle and the Chihuly Gardening Glass Museum, as well as a hop-on, hop-off sightseeing city tour of Seattle. Overall, it's 7 nights hotel, 2 nights on board the train, and yes, those 2 nights on the train are in coach accommodations, which we can absolutely upgrade you to the sleepers, where you'll get a private room with beds, shower access, and meals on the train included. Now, maybe you like the idea of visiting a national park, but maybe you don't have 10 days to do so. Well, keep in mind, folks, we have some really great getaway options, such as our Grand Canyon getaway round trip from Chicago. The Grand Canyon is our most popular year-round national park, and understandably so. It's one of the most visited national parks here in the United States, and it is one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. It is absolutely stunning. This package, you do an overnight train from Chicago to Williams, Arizona on board the Southwest Chief. You arrive in Williams, Arizona the following evening, and you do 1 night in Williams at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel. The next day, you'll hop on board the Grand Canyon Railway, which is the antique steam train that will take you from Williams, Arizona, up to the south rim of the Grand Canyon. Now, I absolutely love it because it adds another train experience to your train vacation. So not only do you get the Amtrak experience, but you get that classic antique steam train experience as well. And there's a reason why this train has been operational for over 110 years. It actually passes through one of the largest ponderosa forests in the state of Arizona. Once we reach the south rim of the Grand Canyon, you are met by a motor coach for a guided tour of the Grand Canyon South Rim, which will highlight a lot of the key things to see and key sites up in the Grand Canyon Village and the South Rim. After our tour, we will spend 1 night up in the Grand Canyon Village at one of the lodges right up there. So we'll do 1 night up there. And then after our night in the South Rim is all said and done, the next afternoon, you will hop back on board the Grand Canyon Railway, take that from the South Rim back down to Williams. And when we get back down into Williams, you'll do 1 more night in Williams at the Grand Canyon Railway Hotel. The next morning, you will then hop aboard the Amtrak Southwest Chief and do the overnight train back to Chicago. So this trip is 6 days, 5 nights. It's 3 nights hotel, 2 nights on board the train. The package does include round trip and coach accommodations on board the Grand Canyon Railway, which you can absolutely upgrade to first class, the observation dome car, or you can upgrade further to the luxury dome car or the luxury parlor car. It includes the guided motor coach tour of the Grand Canyon South Rim called the Grand Canyon Freedom Tour, and it does include 1 breakfast and 1 dinner as well. Now, keep in mind this, if you notice, a lot of these trips do start and end in Chicago. Not to worry, you can absolutely start any of these packages from your local Amtrak station. The reason why a lot of these trips do start and end in Chicago is simply because Chicago is Amtrak's hub station. Now, for all of these packages, you can choose the hotels that work best for your needs. We work with hotels ranging from 3 to 5 stars. So we have all sorts of different hotels that can really cater towards any type of traveler. Now, we've barely scratched the surface of what we can offer to all of you. The best way to see everything that we offer is to pay a visit to our website at amtrakvacations.com. It'll bring you here to our website, and the best way to see all of our packages is to hover over where that red arrow is pointing. That drops down, that destinations tab, that drops down, and you can navigate through by destination and see every single type of package that we have to offer. While you're on our website as well, please feel free to visit the blog at the very top where this red arrow is pointing. You can actually revisit previous webinar presentations. We do these every other week, and every one is a different topic. So you can revisit previous webinars that we've done where we cover a wide array of different themes, topics. We cover different various packages and destinations. So if you want to learn more, it's a really great way to learn some more additional information. As well as, please feel free to visit the trip planning section on our website as well, where this red arrow is pointing. A lot of useful information in there for you in regards to baggage guidelines, accessibility and special needs, meals and dining, as well as on board the train. I highly recommend paying that section a visit, where you can see the layouts of the cars and see what it's like firsthand of what it's actually like to be on an Amtrak train. Now, how do you book with us? You can give us a call at 1-800-268-7252. One of our amazing vacations consultants will be more than happy to help you plan your rail vacation package. You can book through our website at amtrakvacations.com. We actually kind of revamped our website, so it's a lot easier and a lot more user-friendly, so we're pretty excited about that. Or what I always recommend, give a call, or better yet, pay a visit to your local travel agent. I can tell you, I've been in the travel industry for just about 10 years now, and I still utilize my local travel agent because they are one of the best resources out there. They always have out there for your best interests. They try to find you values, and they're really there to help you out and make your, help you handle all your travel plans the best way possible. Now, keep it in mind, folks, we offer some really great everyday discounts as well. If your clients are traveling, or if you all are traveling with any children ages 2 to 12, the kids get a 50% discount right off the top of the vacation package. So they get 50% off right off the rail portion. If you're a senior traveler, age 65 and over, you get a 10% discount off the rail portion of an Amtrak Vacations package. And lastly, if you're active duty military, you, your spouse, and your dependents all get a 10% discount off the rail portion of a package, just as a thank you for your service. And keep it in mind too, folks, keep your eyes peeled to our website as we offer new everyday discounts on trending destinations and more. To see what destinations are, applicable for these everyday discounts, just pay a visit to our website at amtrakvacations.com. And we have a special upgrade just for you for joining us today. Exclusive attendee offer just for joining us. You get $100 off your next booking. Now, this certificate can be applied to any Amtrak Vacations package or custom rail vacation that has a minimum of 2 nights hotel, includes a minimum of 2 nights hotel, sightseeing, and the train journey. Now, you'll find this certificate available in your email inbox after this webinar, so definitely keep it in mind and keep your eyes peeled to your email inboxes. You'll get this promotion, so stay tuned towards after the presentation. Now, this can only be the certificate's only valid on new bookings made essentially between it's going to be extended out, but I can tell you it's for right now it's going to be about a week long, but definitely stay tuned. You'll get the updated information on your email. Now, before we wrap it up for today, and before I answer any questions, please feel free to download those handouts where that top arrow is pointing, and I will be more than happy to answer any to get those and ask away any of those questions, and I'll be more than happy to answer any and all questions that you may have for me today. But before we do so, just keep in mind we get that endless summer sale going on. It started up today, and I can tell you it has been hopping here so far. We've been only open for about an hour and a half, and I can hear the phones ringing from here. If you're looking to take one of our vacation packages, if you upgrade to roomette accommodations, you automatically get $200 off per couple, or if you look to upgrade to the bedrooms, you automatically get $300 off per couple. Now, this deal is only good till the 16th, so you don't want to wait until then, as it has been really busy, and you don't want to miss your opportunity to save some money on one of our amazing vacation packages. Now, before I answer any and all questions, I have a question for you all. We always have fun with this. Which rail vacation packages or destinations are you interested in? And when? Let's have some fun with that. Input your answers into the questions box, and I look forward to seeing what answers that you guys have and where you all are looking to travel to. Oh man, look at that. Michelle and Gia right out the bat looking to go to the Grand Canyon. Mark is looking to go to DC. Tammy's looking to go to Glacier Park next summer. Rhonda's looking to take a train tour. Oh man, look at these piling in. Oh my gosh. You guys are, wow. Let's see. I gotta keep scrolling. Clem and Barb and Jeffrey all looking to go to the Glacier Park. James is looking to go to the Grand Canyon in fall. So is Joanne looking to go to the Grand Canyon. Ma Guadalupe is looking to do the Northern Rail Experience. Thinks it looks great. It is great. Helen's looking to do Los Angeles to Seattle. William and Heidi are looking to do Glacier Park. Ann's looking to do the Grand Canyon. Marilyn's looking to do New York. Sherry wants to do the route around the United States, the Grand Rail Experience. Susan looks to go to Glacier National Park next late summer. Craig wants the rail and sail. Hey, the rail and sail packages are great. We have those packages to Alaska with the Norwegian cruise. Stacy's already booked to go to New Orleans. I love New Orleans. Susan, Glacier Park. Colin, California Zephyr trip. Sadie's looking to go to the fall leaves in the northeastern route. Hey, we have a great northern fall foliage trip in New England. Neil, Grand Canyon. Nancy's doing the Northern Rail experience this September. You're going to have to let us know how it goes. Chuck's looking to go to the Grand Canyon. Annette is looking to go to Seattle and San Francisco. Larry's looking to do the Empire Builder. Ashley's looking to do the California coast. Patricia's looking to go to Seattle in a few years. Gia and Pam are all looking to go to Glacier Park. The Grand Canyon for Tina. Terry's looking to go to Glacier Park. Barb is looking to go to Glacier Park, Seattle, San Francisco, and Salt Lake in September. Wow. Anthony's looking to go to the Grand Rail experience. Thomas is looking to go to DC, New Orleans, and Glacier Park. Ryan's looking to go to Dallas and Glacier Park. Christine's looking to go to Seattle. Diane's looking at folks on the West Coast. Chicago for Dennis. Patrice is looking to do the Northern Rail experience. Wow. We got Glacier Park for William. Seattle, San Francisco for Linda. Rick is looking to go to Nashville. Marilyn's looking to go to the Grand Canyon. Leonard's looking to go to New Orleans and Niagara Falls. Glacier Park for Terry. Joanne's already doing Denver and Rocky Mountain National Park. Tina's looking to go to Quebec. Edwards for Philadelphia. Thomas Grand Rail experience. Chicago to Seattle for Debbie. I can't get to all of these folks. Wow, this is tremendous. Harriet's looking to do Denver and San Francisco. Dennis, St. Paul, Seattle, San Francisco, and back to St. Paul. Christine, Canada. Nancy is looking to do national parks. William, New England fall foliage. Don's already booked to go to Yellowstone. You're going to love it. I did it last year. Lisa's going to the Grand Canyons. Eileen, Bryce, Zion Canyonlands in the Grand Canyon next fall. Bert's looking to go to Glenwood Springs, or already has it booked to go to Glenwood Springs. Deborah's looking to go to the Canadian Rockies. Gail, Grand Canyon. Janice is in Glacier National Park. Peter's looking to go on the Empire Builder to the Canadian train, which we can absolutely help you with. Wow, you guys really tore it up this session. This is probably the biggest response I've ever got. Wow. Bill and Karen, Glacier Park. Henrique, the Grand Canyon. Janet, New England. Bill's looking to do the California Zephyr. Niagara Falls for Kathy. Dennis and Tammy are looking to go to Glacier Park. And Teresa, I like that. Countrywide. That is so, yeah, I would love to travel countrywide. So let's see. This is tremendous. So I got a ton of questions. So if I didn't get to your responses, definitely keep that. We're excited for that. So let me answer all these questions before we wrap it up for today. But before I do so, I actually need to name a winner of an Amtrak Vacations gift card. So today's lucky winner of a $100 Amtrak Vacations gift card is going to go to Peter Cochetti. Congratulations, Peter. Job well done. And for the rest of you, keep these questions coming. I'm looking forward to answering all of these questions. So I'm going to scroll all the way to the top. Let's see. Mary, which level is the quietest and how often are the bathrooms cleaned? The bathrooms are cleaned almost hourly. So the bathrooms on Amtrak are absolutely very clean. For quietness, they're all pretty quiet. Amtrak sometimes does have a quiet car. But I would say, your room is always going to be the quietest because there's a door on that as well. Donna wanted to know, is this recorded? Yes, this is recorded, and this will be put up on our blog for tomorrow. Mary, is there savings for solo travelers? So solo travelers can definitely take advantage of our endless summer sale. You would just get $100 off for the roomette or $150 off for the bedroom. Thomas, I was wondering why there is no planned trip to Yosemite or the Grand Canyon from Chicago. Because, well, there is planned trips. We have set itineraries, but they're completely customizable. So you could customize any trip to really your liking. So if you wanted that trip in particular, yeah, we can customize it. Give us a call or call your local travel agent. Stacy, does Amtrak have any plans to go to Nashville? Not to my knowledge, unfortunately. There's no trains in Eastern Tennessee or Western North Carolina. Richard and Linda want to know, is there a smoking car? No, smoking is not permitted on board any Amtrak trains. If you are a smoker, the Amtrak does make its routine stops along the way. They make the announcement because some stops are usually maybe like 10 to 20 minutes, and those stops you are able to get off in smoke if you are a smoker, or even just get off and get some fresh air. You can definitely do that. Let's see, Rhonda, I'm in Houston, Texas. I do not want to fly to Chicago by train. How affordable would it be to Houston to start and end decision? Oh, it completely be affordable. We can help work with you or your travel agent to help start and end your package at that station. Thomas, does Amtrak Vacations plan Canadian rail trips? Yes, we have a great partnership with Via Rail Canada, so we have some really great options such as cross-Canada trips or the Canadian Rockies. And I myself actually did that 2 years ago. Absolutely loved it. Let's see, Peter. I am concerned about transfers, but concerned about transfers between Amtrak stations and tours and hotels. Usually, you are responsible for your own transportation from train station to hotel, and vice versa, and some of the sightseeing tours. But not to worry, the hotels are typically within a mile or two. So really, getting a taxi or an Uber or a Lyft, or sometimes even walking, and sometimes too, the hotels provide shuttle transportation. But it's really as easy as hassle. It's really easy and hassle free. It's usually just as simple as getting a taxi, and it's usually close and not that it doesn't usually get too expensive. Let's see. Peter had that same question as well. There we go. Scrolling down. Dennis, why are all coach seats coming with leg rest on them? Why don't all roommates have toilets? It's all based on where the train, what type of train it is. If it's a Viewliner train, which is Chicago East, those roommates do have a toilet and sink in room, but those are single level trains. Trains Chicago West are Superliner trains. They're the double decker trains, and those do not have the bathrooms in the roomettes. The coach seats are all the same thing. It's all based upon which specific train that you're looking at. Let's see. Anthony, how many roomettes share the same bathrooms? Well, there's a couple different bathrooms per car, so it's not like everyone's fighting over the same one bathroom. And there's 14 roomettes in each car. Now, keep in mind that there's going to be several cars of sleeping accommodations as well, so it's not like there's just one with one toilet on it. Anthony also wants to know, does every train have an observation car? Almost every single of the long distance routes do have observation cars. The shorter regional routes don't typically do. Call in. California Zephyr from California to Chicago. What are the chances of getting a spot in the observation car? It's usually full in the scenic areas. What is the best side to sit on going east to west? Honestly, I've never once had an issue getting a seat in the observation car at all. If it does tend to get full, especially during like peak travel seasons through late spring through the summer and early fall. On the more scenic routes, especially out west, Amtrak will usually assess a second observation car on the more scenic routes out west just to meet the demand of travelers. Susan, do East Coast trains have an observation car? The long distance routes, such as the Silver services, do, and I believe the Lakeshore Limited and the Capital Limited do as well. Anthony, are beverages included with roomettes? Yes, bottles of water, coffee, tea, and juice are included. Soft drinks such as soda. Soda is included with your meals. Hard alcohol are not. Now, what I will say is if you wanted to bring your own alcohol on board the train, you are permitted to do so. If you are in any of the sleeping accommodations, you're absolutely allowed to bring on your own liquor, beer, and wine. The only thing is it has to be consumed in the comfort of your own room. You cannot bring it out into the public areas. Let's see. Chuck, how many people can fit in the observation car? Quite a bit, because it is upper and a lower. So the lower level is the cafe car, the upper level is the observation car. I don't know unfortunately the exact number of how many people can sit in there. James, do you have to share seating in the dining car? Yes, you do. They break into booths of 4. So say if you are traveling with your spouse or significant other or a travel partner, you guys will typically be paired up with another party of 2, which honestly can result in some really great conversation. I can tell you some of my best conversations on Amtrak came during dining because you get to meet other travelers and everyone's traveling for a different reason. Conversations can get really interesting. Gia, food is included when you have a sleeping accommodation. However, if you don't have a sleeping accommodation, you can absolutely pay for your meals out of pocket. Bill, can you have a lower sodium meals and diabetic friendly meals? Amtrak does have kosher, vegetarian, and vegan meals on the menu. However, if you do have a food allergy or a low sodium diet or gluten allergy or anything of the sorts like that, just let us know and also let your server know on board the train, much like a restaurant, and they can do their best to accommodate to your dietary restrictions. Garland, what is the accessible bedroom and how many on the train? There's usually 2 or 3 handicap accessible rooms on board the train. And the handicap accessible room is a sleeping accommodation for folks that are traveling in wheelchairs or with walkers or some form of mobility aid. It's a little bit bigger because they are accommodating someone in a wheelchair, and they do have a private toilet and sink-in room with the shower just right outside the door. So if you are traveling with a walker, cane, or wheelchair, not to worry, Amtrak does have a room for you as well. Mary, can I have my own booth in the dining car being a solo traveler? No, unfortunately, you will be paired because the dining is done in blocks and it's, there's only very, very limited seats. So you are eligible. You would have to be put with someone else. But it's, like I said, it's a really good time. Mary, is there parking in Chicago? Yes, there is. Almost all the major long distance, major stations on Amtrak do have long-term parking. I unfortunately don't know the cost and how many spaces because it can vary from station to station. Parking is typically handled by third-party companies that were partners with Amtrak. Peter, I am considering a trip on the Lakeshore Limited from Worcester, Mass. to Chicago. How does this train different from the Lakeshore Limited well, it's not a regional train. The Lakeshore Limited is a long distance route, so it's a little bit different. So it has more amenities on there versus the Acela train or the Northeast regional trains. Susan, how can we post an Amtrak vacation on our Facebook? You can always follow Amtrak Vacations on Facebook and share the information. Barb, how does a passenger get from train to sightseeing tours in the hotel? Like I said earlier, you would be responsible for your own transfers typically. Julia, sorry, language barrier here. It's okay. We have listeners from all around the world that speak various languages, so that's okay. What do you mean by hop on, hop off? A hop on, hop off tour is a tour bus that'll take you around the major cities on a big loop. And it makes various stops throughout the cities at usually key areas of town, landmarks, attractions, and things like that. And you're allowed to get off. And the buses usually run every 15, 20 minutes. So when you're done in a particular spot, you can hop back on the tour and take it to the next spot. It's a really great way to see the United States and to see different cities and destinations. Gia, are there locks on the doors in the private rooms from the inside and the outside? They lock from the inside. So say if you do have your own private room and you leave your room, there is a curtain, so you can shut your door and close the curtain. I can tell you that their car attendant is in there and they know who's supposed to be where and in which room, and they keep an eye out on that. I can tell you, I've never heard once of someone getting their belongings stolen or their room broken into on board the train. Let's see. Anthony, are you responsible for transferring your luggage? Yes, you are. From train station to hotel and vice versa. Nancy wants to know, we have a bedroom on our train, so our meals are covered. Can we run a tab on the train for extras? You can't run a tab. You would just pay as you go. David, can I set the Grand Rail experience from Boston and starting and ending in Boston? Most definitely. You can absolutely do that. Peter, is there an email address for Amtrak Vacations? Not directly for it. The best way you can request that information is go to our website or give us a call or visit your local travel agent. Anthony, doesn't the roomette have a toilet in the room? On the East Coast, they do, yes. Neil, do you offer complimentary Wi-Fi? So the long-distance trains do not have Wi-Fi on them. As you can imagine, putting Wi-Fi on a cross-country train can be quite the endeavor in itself, so they do not have Wi-Fi on board the long-distance routes, but all of the shorter regional routes, like the Northeast Regional, the Acela, the Saluki, the Pacific Surfliner, all of those do have Wi-Fi, but the long-distance routes do not, currently at least. When you say one meal on the train, does that mean one meal on the train, or does that mean one meal in a city? So with some of the package, you always have your meals included whenever you upgrade to the sleepers on board the train. We do include some of the package, a meal in the city included, like San Francisco, Seattle, you might sometimes get a meal, the Grand Canyon, and so forth. Anthony, on longer trips, is there an opportunity to do laundry? Some of the hotels we do work with do offer laundry services. So if you are doing a longer trip and you want to do some laundry, you can definitely do so, as some of the hotels do offer that. Clem, how do I know which trains have the observation car? Almost every one of the long distance routes do have the observation car. Richard and Linda, which meals are included on the train with the roomette? All the meals are included while you're on the train. So if you're on the train during breakfast, lunch, or dinner times, you get those, whatever's included during those times. Dennis, I heard you're shifting from fresh cooked food to boxed food. Is that right? No. Well, that's only on certain routes, more of the more of the regional routes. The major long haul, long distance routes all still have a full dining car on it where the meals are freshly cooked to order. What is available for help with bags? Kathleen asks. Amtrak does have a portage service called the Red Cap service, so if you do need luggage assistance at the stations, not to worry, you can absolutely do that and get that included. It's complimentary, and they do help you get your luggage around, on and off the train. So if you did need that, Amtrak does offer that as well. Heidi, is there a way to get a copy of the picture of the bedroom that was in the presentation? It should be on our website under the trip planning section in the onboard the train section. Richard and Linda, can you carry alcohol on board? Yes, you can. You just can't bring. You're allowed to if you have the sleeping accommodations. Mark, I know that thing I showed expires really soon. I believe it's incorrect. I'm gonna absolutely find out, but we do have that flash sale going on as well, so keep that in mind. See, Mark, is there room service on board the train? No, unfortunately. If you did want to have your room on board the train, if you wanted to have your meals delivered, you can absolutely do that as well, most definitely. You could definitely, if you needed to, you can do that. You can, but you would just need to let your car attendant know so they can know to deliver the meals to the train as well, to your room. But there is no room service on board the train, full-fledged. Let's see. Call in. Pay as you go on board. Do they take credit or debit cards? Is it cash only? No, they do take cards on board the train. Rita, is there a safe in the room? No, there is not. Gail wants to know about Wi-Fi. Like I said, the long distance routes do not have Wi-Fi on them. The shorter regional routes all do. I see a lot of questions about Wi-Fi. Barbara, when changing to other trains, is our luggage handled for us? Yes, it is. As long as it's checked luggage, it would be much like the airlines where they would transfer your luggage from one to the other. Cindy, does snow create any issues with train travel? Only in really extreme circumstances. Usually Amtrak, unless it's like a severe blizzard, not really. I can tell you, it's actually been quite nice. Amtrak, it's not like the airlines where they like to cancel flights at the drop of a hat whenever they see any snow at all. So yeah, that's snow. It has to be like really extreme circumstances with that. So you could do that. Let's see. I got so many questions throughout this. I have a question here from Barb. Is checked luggage available at all stations? No. So a lot of the smaller platform stations, they don't necessarily have checked luggage just because they're not really manned stations, because sometimes the stations are just a platform. But most of the major almost all like real stations do have checked luggage. Let's see. Maggie, what does it mean per couple? What is the savings, or what happens if I'm traveling solo and want to book a roomette? So you would get half that. So you get $100 off for the roomette and $150 off for the bedroom if you wanted to. Let's see. I'm just trying to filter through this because there's so many questions. Let's see. If you already have something booked and you're trying to get the flash sale, unfortunately the flash sale the endless summer sale is only applicable for new reservations only. Clark, Clark wants to know if it's 1 or 2 carry-on items per person. You're allowed 2 pieces up to 50 pounds each bag. Let's see. Lori wants to know how many tunnels you pass. It all depends on the route. You can pass through quite a few different tunnels on board the train. I can tell you on the California Zephyr, there's actually all the famous tunnels through the Rocky Mountains in Colorado that you pass through. So yeah, I think there's either 20. I believe there's 24 tunnels that you pass through while going through the Rockies on the train. So that's pretty exciting. They're really neat, and the history behind that's really neat as well. When they were building the train system, and developing. But other routes, I can tell you I've done the Southwest Chief as well, and there's a couple tunnels on there as well. So yeah, you pass through some tunnels. Tamara, is there a recording, and will this be sent out? So there is a recording. It will be up on our blog tomorrow. However, we do these presentations. We're going to have another one at 3 o'clock and another one at 7 o'clock Eastern time today. So if you want to revisit those, hey, you can always feel free to register for those ones as well. Kathleen, I have medication that requires refrigeration. Is there someplace on board to accommodate this? They usually will give you ice as well if you bring a cooler or anything on board of that. So yeah, you could do that. Or I believe they will make exceptions for people with medication as well. But that's because that's nothing, so we could do that. So it looks like, there's so many questions. I'm not going to be able to get to all of these, and we're kind of strapped for time. So I'm sorry if I didn't get to any of your questions, folks. My apologies. If you do have any questions or that you need answered, or if you want to go ahead and look at any options or book anything, please call that number right on your screen, and one of our amazing vacations consultants will be more than happy to answer any and all questions that you may have. Keep in mind, we got that endless summer sale going on where you could save a whole bunch of money off one of our packages. So definitely want to take advantage of that. And so I want to thank you all for joining me for today. We do these presentations, as I said, every other week. My apologies. So our next one will be 2 weeks from today. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled to your inbox. Until next time, everyone, I hope you all take care, and I hope to talk to you all real soon. And hey, good luck, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.